Hey everyone. I've been very emotional these last couple of days. I like it though. I just start crying for no reason. I prefer being able to release energy like that than not. It's like the dam is opened. But anyway, hi. Um, this is Cindy at an open door. It is September 12th, 2025 on the calendar when I'm speaking, and this is the hour that we've labeled sharing the word. That's what we've labeled it. We're currently experiencing Resurrection, which is a channeled book through Paul Selick. And as is our habit, before we hand the reading of this book over to Amy and Sandra, I have a little clip of the guides. And I like the fact that this clip is called Honoring All Beings. It's just about 8 minutes long. And here we go.
When we see you before us in a perfected state, actualized if you wish, we comprehend the aspect of you that has never known fear, never chosen in fear, never been jealous, never been deceitful. The aspect of you that has come in form is here to learn lessons through those behaviors, and indeed you have and may continue to. But you may opt to move beyond them at a different stage of realization than you have come to before. The regarding of the other, whoever he is or she is, as of God, is actually a mandatory act for anyone who is on this path. You cannot pick and choose who is of God and who is not, nor can you decide that one should be shunned or disbarred and another should not. Some of you decide these things through coercion or through the family heritage that you have been born into. We always do this. This is who we are. We always hate them because we always have. And your regard for another at that level of choice, born in separation and fear, accrues more and more evidence of its necessity. Why you need the walls and the locks on the doors, and to penalize some and to bless others. Your regard for another's being, who and what they truly are, must now be seen as sacred. And this is going to be the great challenge in the years to come, because you will see things enacted that will seem to defy this, and you will be invited to hate or to decide that some could never be worthy, either of a country, a law, or a place to be. You will be asked to see some in shadow. They'll be cast in shadow, and you'll be invited to see them there. But understand that this is still deceit. To regard the inherent holiness of another human being is to enter the kingdom, or to realize the kingdom, or the divine in the one that you see. Now, this is an active choice at the level of the personality structure. But when you truly align to the higher room, you come into accord with a jurisdiction that actually bypasses the laws that you have been born into. When you move to the upper room, it is less a choice than a simple acknowledgement of what is always true. Imagine you know that a bush has poisonous fruit. You grew up around the bush, you don't eat the fruit, and you tell your children best not to eat the fruit that grows there, it will make you very ill. When you move to the upper room at a level of alignment, you are no longer saying good man or bad man. You are knowing them. You may be knowing what they are capable of in their lower actions, But you are not self-deceiving by denying the divine that must express as them. It simply is. The bush simply is. It's a glorious bush. Just don't eat the fruit. You understand yourselves what discernment is. Best not to pick up the poisonous snake with your bare hands. Best to stay away from the one who is swinging the machete. But you don't condemn them by putting them in darkness. You stay away from the machete. You ignore the snake and step away, but realize that the snake itself is also a product of Source, or an iteration of Source, because nothing cannot be. To deny the divine in anything or in anyone is actually to enable the darkness. And you do this while you think that you are ennobling the light. I will be a warrior for the light. I will smite the dark people. The shadows will be displaced by my sword of light. In fact, what you are doing at that level of vibration is deciding that some are worthy and some are not, because if you are truly the light, you'll invite them to you as the light that they truly are. You will see the light in them, regardless of what they present, and bless them in their being. Now, to bless someone is not to condone their behavior or their actions. It's to realize them as in the presence of Source. A blessing is the realization of the knowing of the action of the divine upon the thing, especially where the thing has been placed in shadow. The one who has been placed in darkness must be brought the light. You don't do this as a Pollyanna. Oh, there's Annabelle. Her husband left her. Let's bring her some light and give her a happy day. You know Annabelle is worthy of her own relations, of her own being, of her own right to be, and you claim the light that is indeed her, regardless of what she believes or what her husband said or did. It is not an act of pity or even an act of counsel. It's an act of expression. The light that you are in its expression knows who another is, and the benefit is the presence of the light that you are indeed sharing with them. This is not done by choice from the level of amplitude that we teach at. We cannot ignore the light in you, the inherent perfection in you, nor do we ignore the choices you have made, the singular choices that you have made in fear, or the collective choices you make in coercion, or in deceit, or in a lie told and shared. A lie told and shared. Some are more worthy than others, must be seen as what it is, an act of darkness. And to be coerced at that level is to become responsible for the choices that you make in that dark space. You are not exempt from the results. When you turn your back on the one who needs you because you fear her, or you think ill of what he does, when you decide he is not worthy of your compassion or love, you have denied the light in them, and you are accountable to the choice and what that calls forth to you. Again, there is discernment. If the one at your door is seeking to harm you, do not open the door. But understand the light that is still there regardless of what he is doing, and claim the presence of the divine where he is and through his actions. This ennobles him beyond coercion, beyond language, beyond any language at all, because the God within you will always know who he is or she is as of itself. The God that is within you is the same God in the one that you hate, or the one that you would fear, or the one that you would bar from your home. To know God in them is to claim the presence of the source of all things, that is always present, but can be denied.
Good morning, everyone. Before we get into the book, that was a pretty powerful message from the guides. And I'm wondering if anyone has any comments or anything they'd like to lift up to the rest of us that they heard.
Just like to say it makes me very, 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 very happy. I just got really happy, especially towards the end. This idea of finding the God in the one you hate, and just this recognizing that there isn't 8 billion gods, that there is no separation in God. And so when I sit here and just say, I'm connecting with what always is, and there is God everywhere. And that doesn't mean that I have to be beaten up by a machete. You still stay out of the way of the machete. I don't know, for whatever reason, I've heard the message so many times, and I'm pretty sure we listened to this video in this group before, but it doesn't matter. I could love the poison berry and not eat it, and I can find the God in the, I don't hate anybody, but in the one I hate, and it feels like such a divine appointment just to be in the practice of that. And for whatever reason, it just tickled me inside, and I feel very happy. There you go.
I like that. It tickles you. It just reminded me of when I was reading the Course in Miracles and I finally got what they were talking about with forgiveness. And that forgiveness wasn't saying, oh, you did something bad and I'm going to forgive it. You know, I'm all magnanimous and I'm going to forgive you for it. But that it was seeing beyond the acts and behaviors to the truth of the being. And I think that's what this video clip did. See the light and invite them into the light. So I really liked it. Amy, do you have anything to add about this clip? No?
I have something. What you said reminded me of one of my favorite quotes from the Course in Miracles. The holiest place on earth is where past hatred has become a present love.
Would you repeat that for me, please?
Yeah, I got to screw it up. The holiest place on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love.
That's beautiful. William. Good morning, William.
Well, good morning. What comes to me is lately, I see 8 billion eyes, me's eyes. At the same time, we're all one. I love that. We're all one. But I see all those 8 billion eyes, and I love that. I just get so much resonance out of that it's all pretend. But we're all doing it, and then we're all in the truth. We're all in this light, and I love that. The other thing I read last night, my wife demonstrated to me such a powerful realization. She can listen to me at times without trying to fix, guide me, advise me. She just listens. That's a trait that I love. I want more of that, and I'm so happy to recognize that in her, that willingness. She just listens. It's so simple. Okay.
The other thing I heard this morning that I liked a lot was the concept of discernment as opposed to judgment. It doesn't mean we're not discerning in this world we're operating in, as Cindy said. Was there someone else who wanted to jump in? I thought I heard a sound. No?
That was Indigo. That's
Hi,
so.
Indigo.
Hi, everyone. So great to be here. Such a gift. That's so beautiful, William. Just how you just bring that love of your your wife. You just honor her and you just love her. And that love just shines through. And that's, I don't know, that's just how I see it, that that everything is God and everything is love. All of it, the hate, everything. And when we can just kind of do kind of like what he did and just step back and love it and bring it in, because everything is here for us. I love being here. Thank you.
Thank you. So as is our custom, I'm going to ask for any volunteers to read this morning. I see Cindy, Rick, Patricia. Okay. We're on page 36. We're in the second chapter entitled New Experience. And we're at the top of the page. Which starts with now the kingdom. So Cindy, you're up first.
Here we go. Now, the kingdom, as we have taught it, the realization of the divine in all things, is not a pretty place. It looks no different in some ways than the place you may live now. Man, it feels like this is just the same as what we just watched. um, but you understand it as God in expression. And as it is understood as such, lifts itself to higher resonance. It sparkles and is made new through the effervescence and illumination that is the divine. Each of you says yes to an idea of reconciliation that is convenient to you. I want God when I want God and how I want it, and I want to be holy in the ways I think I can be. But let's not talk about the ways I am not. Every aspect of you is holy. Even the carnal self is of God, because nothing is outside of God. And the reclamation of the idea of sin, which is simply calling back into being the practices or behaviors or ideas you have chosen to learn through, and reunifying them into their source, which cannot be done by denying them, will offer you a level of liberation that you have not known thus far. Just sinking into accepting that I don't know what's next, and as uncomfortable as that feels here, being willing to let go of my expectations, um, so that I may know a level of liberation that I cannot even imagine. Seems to be worth the price. What do the guides say it often? All this will cost you is your history. And I'm willing to surrender my history that I may know this.
Any other comments on this paragraph? Well, why don't you keep going, Cindy?
Okay. We say yes to you now in advance of this. We say yes to you now in preparation for what will come. Because what will come will likely challenge the life you have lived. because you are so participatory to the denial of the divine, so complicit to its creations, that you are in self-deception. Now, to be in self-deception is to be in a lie, and a lie will not be tamed by appeasing it. A lie will be transformed only by truth. And when a lie has been present and deeply embedded in a culture, the act of reconciliation of the culture may create fissions in the culture and a collapse of segments of it. And the reason for this is the intention to deny the divine in oneself or one's brother comes at a precarious cost. My heart is beating very fast, and there's even a sense of a low level vertigo as I just allow this body mind to be in the acceptance of what is being read here.
Alka put wow on the chat. It's powerful if you really believe what's being said there. William, did I see your hand raised?
Well, yes. And I had a powerful experience last night, and this all kind of feeds into it. And what it looks like, that being living that lie. I see there's so many me's, those images all through my past. That me, this me, the me, the next me, the next me. But one of those me's got stuck, and it was my truth that showed up over and over and over. That me that I did something I shouldn't have done, or I would not do what I knew I was supposed to do. So that me stuck there. And in a dream last night, I was absolved of that. A me was created in my dream, but it was a me that was different from the me's I've been believing and lying to myself by. It was a me that said, oh my God, it wasn't the way I had believed. And what I see is the power when there's a me that I don't understand is a me. I believe it 100%. It's the truth. And I see that there's almost like two ways. You either know it's an illusion and or you reframe it, whatever. But the point is when the light comes, it's so freeing. And that's what I see, the lifting of the cloud, the veil of that deception. Anyway, it was like, wow. And it's to know that even when I feel otherwise, I still know it. I know it now. Because, even, just I know it. So, thank you. And I think this space keeps, the light is still there every time we're sharing. It's a beckoning. There's light in each one of us when we see it in others.
Yeah, I relate to that. A beckoning. There's a force. There's a pull. There's a pull that speaks directly to our hearts, almost bypasses the intellect and the brain. It just goes right in. Alka, glad you raised your hand. I was going to ask you to speak to that comment.
I was just going to say, I was listening to something where he was talking about where the term ask and you shall receive. He was saying there are terms and conditions to that. And one of them, he said, was having led a righteous life. It's not a correct translation, but so that is what the guides were saying in this paragraph, exactly that. But you will receive what you ask for, but you have to pay attention to what they've just said. It's
Yes.
important.
One word, two words grabbed me: self-deception. And I have actually caught myself in self-deception by being the observer. And I can just go, like, look what she's doing now. Now she's justifying what she knows isn't right. I don't know if anybody else has had that experience, but just by being the observer, and I can see what she's doing, Sandra, is doing. And that is a level of freedom and liberation. And not needing to like condemn it, but just kind of laugh at it. Amy.
Yeah, there's no point in condemning it, is there? It's just what's arising, right? When you know what you are in truth, truth never changes. Truth is consistent. So when I know what I am in truth, it's the I am, it's the observer, it's the one who is always there. You know, it's we call it the witness or whatever. But I wanted to just thank William for both of his shares, but I I would, it comes to me that when our dreaming begins to merge with the awakening mind, the I am, when we begin to awake in the dream and in this waking life, we are pulling them together into singularity. And that is the one, that's becoming the one. And so I just say, watch your dreams, have fun in your dreams. And when you go to bed at night, ask the guides, I ask all of you, this has become my practice. I name every single one of you, and I ask you to join me in my dream time so that we can all learn the lessons together. We can help each other the same way we help each other here in the waking life. And I invite everyone in to join on the journey to awakening in the dream. So yeah, and it's great. It's so much
Thank you
fun.
for that. Thank you. Yeah, I might try that myself.
Particularly,
Go ahead, William. Go ahead.
particularly when your dream figures are so ticklish and funny. It's fun to because the lies are transformed by the truth. It's just that's over and over. And I may mess around all kinds with words, thoughts, but it's always the now of truth. That evaporates the rest.
That is exactly right. There is only the truth. That is it. And yeah, that's exactly it. That's straight out of the Course in Miracles.
Amy, when you said you invited us into your dreams, I was reminded of a speech I heard by Maya Angelou. She's a poet, and she was telling these graduate students who, I guess it was a graduation speech, and she says, whenever you go anywhere, you do not go alone. Bring your family with you. Bring your grandmother, bring your mother, bring your family. And it was like you were inviting your family with you. It's like you are not alone. And it was such a poignant speech she gave with such feeling that
That's exactly right, Sandra. Why not?
yes.
Why not? And I call you by name, which is an invocation. It's just what Selig does. It's just what the guides say. So I call you each by your name and invite you to come in. And it makes me feel so good to do that. And I know that it's true because of that feeling. So, and you know, each one has free will. So you know, the apparently separate self, it's just an invitation. I'm not calling you and saying you must come. I'm just saying I invite you, you know. So
And yet there we are. We're there as soon as you call us.
Can,
Because
can I, can,
go
can I
ahead.
just can I just add every aspect of you is holy. And that's all those me's. And I've got a lineup. I got not a 52 card deck. I've got 1,052. Me. And you know what? They all serve their purpose, but the truth is underwriting all of them. Anyway, just it's so full.
I love that. This is a conversation. People can just jump in. Jump in, jump out, jump up and down if you want. Okay, second, Rick, you're up, and we're on the very last line on page 36. And thank you for volunteering to read. You have to unmute first.
Great. I was trying to find it on Kindle. Here we go.
It starts with the line now, as we said.
Yep. Now, as we said prior, humanity has chosen to lift, has decided it will survive, and is undergoing a passage of recreation that is not only monumental, but challenging at every level. Because the old is falling away as you move beyond it. Because the new is seeking to be born. Every step you take feels as if it is a transitional to something other than perhaps you have known thus far. The individual choice to claim the higher alignment is actually casual, because the casual field that humanity has claimed has agreed to this. Individuals are now accepting a potential that has been hindered and, in fact, denied them through the collective choice of to separation. The collective choice to separation is going to collapse. Now, when something collapses, it often makes a great noise. And we suspect this will be the case here. Because you have denied God in your brother, henceforth denied the divine in yourself, because you have equated love with getting what you want from someone, or success as acquiring money. What you will encounter in this transformative time is indeed reckoning, and the choice made in fear which contribute to separation must indeed be remade.
Amy.
this really reminds me, what Rick just read beautifully is the as above, so below. It's what we talked about yesterday. So the individual chooses to claim a higher alignment, and that has effect, right? It has an effect. And so, but at the same time, oh, I just love it. So the collective has chosen separation. And yet, in order for the carpet to roll up, the individual has to choose against separation, it has to choose the collective, it has to see the divine. And then that reinforces the collective, which then reinforces the individual. It's just a circle. It's alchemical. I just love it. I love it. And that's why every choice that we make is important and no one gets left behind. It's so beautiful. Anyway, just wanted to.
I think we talked about something in this space a long time ago called the 100 Monkeys theory. I think that's related to what
Oh, yeah.
you're saying.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That once it reaches reaches a tipping point with so many people making this choice, making this point, and then it just accelerates.
Yes. Yeah. And it's also wherever three or more are gathered in my
Yeah.
name. It's the same thing. It's just words saying the same thing, which is the beauty. What was it that you just said? We're just drawn to this lifting together. I- Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Cindy.
So this is going to come together as I speak. And it was lit. Thank you so much, Rick. Every once in a while, I or others will take one word and pronounce it differently, and it creates a whole different meaning that lights something up in here for me to contemplate. In the 8-minute video, one of the things that the guide said was at the level of personality, there is choice. And when you lift to the upper room, it becomes just a recognition of what always is. Here, and I got chills here, so if I'm slowing it down, it's for me, and since you are me, it's for you too. um, the line where a word was not accidentally mispronounced reads, the individual choice to claim higher alignment is actually causal. What I heard Rick say, whether he said it or not, because I don't, it's all the same. What I heard was the individual choice to claim higher alignment is actually casual. Um, and for me, as I'm sitting and every cell in my body right now is like lit up, there are chills. So what I'm hearing is that in the common field, we're not looking at our assumptions. We're living a world without questioning it. And it's just very casual. This is just the way we've always done it, right? Now we've stepped into a new recognition of the truth, recognizing that, yeah, the collective has created a series of laws and regulations. And when we're not paying attention, it's just a casual, yep, people with black skin are not human. For the longest time, I met a very dear friend of mine who was born into a family of KKK. And so breaking the chains of recognizing that people can have different colored skin and still be human was something he had to learn consciously, right? There's a painful relearning, reclaiming, retransfiguration. And the guides have gifted us with pointing at the fact that our assumptions aren't true. And so we don't get to be casual in how we do our life anymore. We accept that our assumptions are causal, and we don't have to live by any assumption that holds any level of separation, denial of the divine, fear. And in that acceptance, I don't remember now if we read it or if it was in the video. Knowing this isn't always pretty, right? I think it's in the book. It's not always pretty in the same way my friend had to undo what he was born into to recognize that God is everywhere because he was born into an energy of other than that. It's uncomfortable to be, it's not casual for a while anyway. It's not casual to accept that our thoughts are causal. So it lights up for me when things like that happen. So thank you for letting me say all that out loud.
I'm so glad you said it, and I'm so I'll get right to you, Patricia. Because one of the lines in the video that hit me very strongly was, "You are responsible for the choices you have made in darkness." And I remember very distinctly, I don't know if it was during a meditation, I don't remember how it happened, but I remember what happened was that I was given a recognition that I was now responsible, that this wasn't just about me. And that adds a whole layer of understanding to me, understanding what we are doing here amongst this, what seems like a small group of people. We're changing the world. Cindy.
Well, I just want to say, so there are some quotes from a lot of different teachers that we've talked about, but have been sinking in more and more here lately. The world is in me,
Yes.
not in Cindy, but in me. And if I accept that one quote, which I think is in every tradition we talk about, it means I am responsible for, again, not Cindy the individual, but every thought that's here from a collective is affecting the whole, because the world is in me and you're in me. And on a level that I don't have to understand, but I can work with, every thought I think is affecting the world that is in me.
Yes, absolutely.
Here's again.
Thank you. Patricia.
Good morning, everyone. So good to be here. I miss you on Saturday and Sundays, and sometimes Mondays. I got lost in missing you. A thought that came up, went into the future. Now it brings me back to the now. Being able to live in the world of I don't know, I find it's a release. When I go into I don't know, I let go of all the thinking I'm doing. And I like what you said, Sandra. It's like, oh, just watching what Patricia's thinking. Oh, and letting it go. And at that moment, having that opportunity to go, I don't know. I don't know what's next. There's something that's so freeing about that enters into, I don't know. I don't know.
Amy.
Just want to ask Patricia, when you say, I don't know, and you sink into that, how often does that seem so exciting? Yeah. I don't know, but whatever it is, I know it's going to be good because Indigo says so.
That's right. It's all for me. When I go into the I don't know, there's a freedom, and it's full of subtle color. It's very gentle, and it makes me smile.
Thank you.
That's the way I can describe it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and Dr. Steve Young on Thursday said one of the roadblocks is saying, I know this, because it shuts you down, it contracts you. When you don't know, you expand because you're open to all the possibilities. Richard.
Good morning, everyone. I resonated with, for most of my life, the first half of my life, I guess, I believed that what I thought, said, or did was personal. It only affected me. If it bothered you, that was your problem. And when I started my spiritual path, first with recovery and then the Course of Miracles, and then all these beautiful teachers I've been able to listen to over the years, I realized that every thought, word, and deed I experience is shared with everyone at the same time. So my impact on the collective is very great, as all of us are. And we're about the collective. We are contributing to the collective. And that's why I think it reinforces the belief for me that it's an inside job. My only job is to be a positive force within the collective, not to change the collective, not to change the physical world at all, because it has nothing to do with form. It has to do with business or beingness. And we can't force people to be what they are not ready to be. So that's what I got out of the last paragraph.
Thank you. Izzy.
Hey, folks. On the subject of I don't know, what occurred to me a few days ago is that when we know we don't know, then our only choice is to have faith and trust. And that faith and trust is what takes us directly to the knowing that we're being lived. And that, I think, is why it feels so freeing to not know. Thanks, sweeties. Love you.
Thank you, Izzy. So nice to have you here with us.
I just want to ask Izzy if she would expand on that,
Okay.
what she said, because that is really important, what Izzy just said.
I don't know, sweetie, if I can expand on that.
I don't
Just that, when the old self is here, it knows so much. It thinks it knows so much. And that completely shuts out God, shuts out love. But when we let go of that little self that thinks it knows so much, then when we don't know anymore, the only choice we have is to trust and to love that which is living us. So that's about the biggest expansion I can do right now.
that's the experience of knowing love, and you can only experience it. That's how you know. And thank you, Izzy. I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you, Amy. For me, I feel safe in that. Whereas before I was always like, yikes, what's going to happen next? But I feel safe when I do that and I'm wrapped in love. I think it was William next and then Patricia.
Well, following up on what Izzy's saying, and Pat, Patricia, see, I don't know. When I realize there's no I and don't know, it's it's a shortcut to there's awareness, there's awareness, there's awareness. Awareness doesn't have to know. It's just awareness. And so even that I don't know, well, I get a hit and the freedom, the release. I'm free. I don't have to be anticipating blame, whatever, didn't matter. It is that I'm not in charge, no doer. There's knowing, but not I know. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I get. Just it's so freeing.
Yes. Patricia.
Oh, William, once again, you stole my words, or some of them. I don't know brings me to the now. When I'm in the now, I'm in awareness. When I'm in awareness, I'm hanging out with God. I
Yeah.
am God.
Yep.
And when
Yep.
when I'm in the in the now, there's such richness. And I think that richness is called love. I think richness is called love.
Indigo.
Hi everyone. I just want to say so much how I love being in that I don't know and just letting it unfold, surrendering. And for me, it was so like for me, it was amazing when I my back went out and it was really in the I don't know and surrendering. That was when God told me that no, I didn't need to worry about my back anymore like I was. And I remember just going, what? What? Because I've been doing that for 20, 30 years. I just surrendered. I just followed God. And it was in this I don't know that I was guided that no, that's not true. So it's just such a gift to be and to be guided in the I don't know.
Thank you, Indigo. We love you.
I love all of you.
Patricia, we're on the last paragraph on page 37. If you would like to read for us.
Be a pleasure. Now, when something makes a great noise, a thunderous noise perhaps, it requires everyone's attention. And if you look at the times you sit in, everybody's attention has been claimed. You now have opportunity to learn through collective event. And this is indeed a gift only if you understand that the lesson or the gift that is being given to you is one of reconciliation. When your brother is suffering, you care for your brother. When your brother is ill, you tend to his needs. When your sister is starving, you make sure she has food. You know the one beside you is worthy of the life lived. And you comprehend the one beside you as of God. Because the moment you deny God in the one suffering, in the one hungry, in the one beside you, you have denied in yourself as well. And perpetuation of separation is reestablished. The moment you deny God in the one suffering, is the one hungry, you have denied it in yourself because we're all one. Thank you.
Could you keep going? Read the next one for us.
Sure. Now, the times you sit in great opportunity, yes, thunderous noise, perhaps to call everyone's attention forward, are times of resurrection. The time of resurrection is the time of reconciliation. So resurrection, time of reconciliation, of the aspect of humanity that has always known truth at the cost of the lies that humanity has perpetuated through separation. And because this is occurring now, and the lines in some ways feel drawn, indeed everyone has opinions, and ideas of justice differ greatly. The only thing that will reclaim all things in truth and justice are an equation. Now you equate justice with punishment, and that is not what justice is. Justice is a righting of what has not been righted. It is the claim of truth in the face of the lie. And the changes that occur as a result of this writing, as a result of this agreement to truth, are what humanity requires.
What came into my mind as you were reading was, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. And that just came in. Anybody else on these, or should we keep going?
Just really quickly, I'm not on video because I'm eating and I don't want people to see me eating, but I'm here. This reminds me of Eckhart Tolle came to speak in New York, and I went down to see him, and it was in this huge auditorium. And that's when I really thought, Jesus never left us. Eckhart Tolle has the Christ energy in such an amazing way. And he told this story about being in India and passing by a beggar on the street that had nothing, and looking into the eyes of the beggar and recognizing the Christ in the beggar, and recognizing freedom in the beggar and the truth. And it wasn't as though, oh, I have to help this person and get them out of their situation. It was seeing that the beggar himself felt free, even in his apparent poverty. And that's not to say that you ignore the person either. It's just to see the light of God in them, even as their appearance might tell you otherwise. I always remembered that. Thank you.
That's so perfect. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's what the guides were saying to us in the initial clip that Cindy gave us in the very beginning. The holiness in everyone and in everything.
I love what you said, and it reminds me of what Richard is pointing out, that when I look in the eyes of someone, typically I separate myself into this separate being. What do I do? How do I help? Whatever. But when I stay in the light of the truth and wait and pause and see what's next.
Yeah. It's like full acceptance to me. Okay, Pat, I'm going to call on you, Patricia, once more to read for us.
I would love to, but I have to get off to acupuncture, so I need to leave.
Okay, well, I'll just pick it up there.
Thank you.
Enjoy your acupuncture.
Oh, yes, indeed. Thank you. Bye.
We're on 38, second paragraph down. How about you, Amy? Would you like to read? Or are you still chewing? You're muted.
Sorry.
Would you like me to read, or do you want to?
Happy to read. Are we in now the times you sit in? Okay. Now.
No, we're at the next now.
Well, now the idea of subjective
Okay,
truth.
not the times you sit in. Okay. Thank you, Cindy. Now, the idea of subjective truth must be decided with and for once and for all. Truth is not subjective. Opinions are subjective. And this is different than the non-dual use of the term subjective. And I think it's important to point that out. And we can talk about it later, but right now, subjective means personal.
Personal, yes.
The apparent individual. Opinions are subjective. What is true is always true and will always be true. Well, there's a Course in Miracles for you. And the idea of factions, each one's touting a separate truth, must be understood as a masquerade known in folly. This will stop because it cannot continue and will not be continued. And what will finally stand, we say, is truth in the face of the lie, in the face of injustice, and certainly in the face of man's inhumanity to man. When we teach through Paul, we are aware of his limitations, how long we may speak while being rendered clearly, when his system needs a pause, and we will continue only for a few more moments and continue later when his system has rested. Reconciliation is the embodiment of truth. Resurrection, which is the presence of the divine in fullness in form, is articulation of truth, which is always true. You can make nothing holy. You can deny the divine in anything you wish, and that becomes your experience. It is the experience of humankind at the current level of vibration. But this transition is occurring, and the falling away of the old before is before you now. Make the great sound, the true sound, which we say is God is, the announcement of the omnipresence that will reclaim all things, and the world you have seen indeed will be made new. We will resume our teaching later. We take a pause for Paul. Period, period, period. Stop now, please.
Richard.
I want to share about my understanding of subjective. The individual self can have a subjective view or opinion, but so can the collective. Whether the collective is our group or the city we live in or the family we have, or each one of those organizations have our own collective consciousness. And they can be subjective as a collective. It's only when you rise to a level where there is nothing above the collective within the illusion that you can have a collective that is non-subjective. That's my understanding of what they're saying.
Amy, do you want to add anything to that?
I was looking for it in the spiritual discourses of Sri Atmananda. This is going to not be sufficient, but subjective is distinguished from objective in terms of looking at the material and immaterial world. So objects are things, including thoughts and feelings in the non-dual tradition. So thought is an object. A feeling is an object. They're all things that arise on the screen of awareness. And the subjective is just the awareness. The subjective is the screen of awareness upon which the objects are projected. So that's the distinction.
That is very different from the way it was used here.
It's very different. It's very different. And it was really confusing for me in the beginning. But what I think is really helpful is, and the guides don't get into this at all, because I think it's too advanced, but I'm sure that they will get into it, is that well, they do get into it. That's not true. All objects are illusions, They are all just arising in the field of perception. They're not illusions in the experience. They are an experience at this level, just like free will. The ability to choose is an experience at this level. It seems we choose, but as the guide said, as we get above this level, we realize that it's all just the fulfillment of the divine. And I want to just see what Alka says.
Distinguishing between subject and subjective.
They're two different words. They're two different words. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Richard?
I perceive the collective to be an object, a separate with a separate being within the illusion. So whether it be the collective of humankind, or the collective on another planet, or the collective of the entire reality as a dream, is still a subject or an object within the dream. Maybe the pinnacle of the object, maybe the one object in the dream before the final step is taken, and we enter no separation, no collection, but only oneness or isness or beingness. And there is no collective anymore. There is no individuals anymore. So that's my personal view of it.
I was actually feeling these were questions that used to occupy the brain and the mind a lot. And I feel that this week, after listening to Dr. Stephen Young, and actually after listening to the guides this morning, to me, it's much simpler than that. I'm just experiencing both and all at the same time as one being. I'm experiencing all of it. The dual and the non-dual, the choice and the no choice. I'm experiencing all of it, and I just accept that.
Is that the same as what Steve was saying about the game?
Yes.
The game of life? In other words, it's both the non-dual and the dual, but you're playing the game, recognizing you're infinite at the same time you're finite, having a finite experience.
Yes, and that you're the player and the coder at the same time.
The dreamer of the dream and the hero of the dream at the same time.
So that kind of settled down the mind. It settled it down. And it goes right along with what Patricia and William were saying about not knowing. I really don't know. I couldn't do an intellectual discourse on this, but I've heard people talk about it. And when I hear people talk about it, like Jenny and Rupert Spiral, sometimes my mind just goes, oh my God, like that. Like, I'm not trying to figure it out anymore. Amy.
Well, I do find this helpful, and I don't disagree with you, but so I wasn't completely correct. I just want to read this. This is from Spiritual Discourses of Sri Atmananda, and this is just one of his notes. The questioner asks, is there a subject-object relationship at any time? And Alka, I know you're going to clarify this, probably. And it says, no. Is there a subject-object relationship at any time? The I principle, meaning I am, I exist, I am here. I know that with certainty. That is the only one thing whose existence is never questioned. I don't question whether I am here or not. I am, right? This is never an object of the senses or the mind, right? The knowing I am is beyond the mind and beyond the senses. It's a knowing, right? Regarding this I principle at the time of experience, so in the now, no subject-object relationship exists. So as William says, in the now, there's only the now. There isn't any separation. It's just now. But during the perception of objects also, the experience is exactly the same. The apparent object, I'm not going to go through that. The subject object is, I'm the subject and there's an object out there. That's the subject object relationship, right? And that is not true. There is no subject object relationship, which we all know. There is only the beingness, and it's all arising within the one. There is nothing separate. That's just exactly what it's saying.
Thank you, Amy.
Sorry to have taken
I'll
us down that rabbit hole. I apologize.
That's okay. No, don't ever apologize. Never apologize. Alka.
Okay, I hope I can remember what I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to talk about not understanding and not knowing. I find if I don't understand something, I just let it go. And I trust that when it comes up the next time, I will understand. And this has happened to me so many times that I've let go of things I don't understand, and then a week later or whatever timing, I read it again, and suddenly it goes in with complete knowing. So I don't struggle with things I don't understand. I just let them go.
I love that. That's exactly where I am. And this is going to sound silly. You ready for something silly? Yesterday, I lost my phone. I looked everywhere for that phone, but there was kind of this knowing that I was going to find it. I wasn't upset about it. And I was like, it's kind of nice to be without the phone for a whole day. And my husband's like trying to find it. I go, don't worry, it will come. This happens over and over again, just like understanding will come. It's true of just daily life. It will come. And it showed up this morning near the shoes. How it got near the shoes, I have no idea. But I just think that it's like a different way of living when we know the truth of being. Yes, not understanding is part of it. And if I need to understand it, then I will at the appropriate time. So thank you for that, Alka. William.
Well, what's occurring to me right now is that even that whether it's the phone or something, even that, to me, that's still that separate self in me, because that's what I want. I want that. When truly the truth will show up the way the truth shows up, whether I have the phone or not.
Yes.
It's almost like what comes to me is that there's like an elevator. When I let go of my thinking mind, the elevator will naturally take me to the upper room. Truth will emerge no matter what I do in the meantime. And so I just like that. I see that I don't live that way all the time, but I know that that's a possibility. Truth will set us free. Thy will be done. That just, somehow I know that even when I don't.
That is so perfect. It's a perfect way to wrap up today's meeting, I think. Thank you. And just thank you, my fellow co-facilitator, Amy. If you haven't noticed, we've decided to each take the lead every other week because it was easier that way. And I'm grateful.
Does that depend on which one's eating?
You know, anyone could facilitate this.
Exactly.
Sandra and I just decided.
That's how I feel about it too. I think we're all facilitators. And I really like it when we ask questions of each other and respond to each other, because that deepens the discussion, you know. So thank you all